We all have different paths we take with many different struggles and triumphs along the way. Anne Jolle, a life coach, has made it her mission in life to help people along their chosen paths. Through patience and caring, Anne came up with the concept of the Grace Trail. PCN Life brings you to this touching story, followed by the performance of an original song inspired by this wonderful message.
The Grace Trail is an inspirational trail in Plymouth, Massachusetts. And I started it when my son was in Afghanistan in 2012, and I was having a tough time coping.
Located at Nelson Park in Plymouth, the area is both scenic and accessible. With plenty of public parking and nearby attractions, Jolle hopes that the Grace Trail will become a destination for locals and tourists alike. I met up with Anne at Nelson Park Bike Path. We walked the trail together and she opened up about the Grace Trail beginnings back in 2012.
I found myself at that time saying to myself, I need to step into a state of grace. And I didn't even really know what I meant by that, but I just knew where I was not a really good place. And I felt like there was like a spot over here that was more peaceful and quiet, sort of like the eye in the middle of the storm. But I didn't know how to get there. And I guess you can call it grace, but I saw 5 words in the word grace at that moment. I can remember the time, and I said, wow. So G is for gratitude, R is for release, A is accept, C is for challenge, and E is for embrace. But it wasn't until 2012, when my son was in Afghanistan and he was in combat every day, that I found myself really struggling once again. And I read an article at that time, and the article was about the Appalachian Mountain Trail. And the question in the article was, who's hiking the trail? And the answer was, it's a whole lot of vets walking off their war. And I was like, oh my God, I love that. Where can I go to walk off my war every day? Where can I go to walk off my worries? So I decided to make a trail right here in Plymouth. And what I did was we were on this beautiful beach, and I picked up rocks, big granite boulders that I found, and I put them along the trail. I tried to put the rocks in places that would help people to answer the questions. For release, I put it right near a rocky beach so people could go down. I picture them picking up those rocks and thinking about what they need to let go of and release, and then throwing the rock in the water.
A map of the trail is available at the beginning of the bike path at Nelson Park. On it, Jolle provides questions that help guide visitors in their self-reflections. Here's a breakdown of her Grace Trail method.
So I would start and say, even though life is really difficult, what are you grateful for? And so I'd answer that question. And then the next question is, okay, now what do you need to let go of, or what do you need to release in your life to move forward? And the next step is A, and you walk off the beach up into that beautiful field. And I love to call that the field of loving awareness. And people can walk through it and say, what's calling out for acceptance in my life? And just be quiet, because the field can help you answer that question. It's just full of life. And that brings you to the top of the road, where you'll find a challenge stone. And you say to yourself, okay, what challenge do I want to create? What challenge do I want to choose for myself? And as you walk down the road and you find the E stone, it takes you back to your car, and it says, what can I embrace as possible? And you answer that. I want people to live their life with a lighter heart. I like to say I bring a light touch to some heavy subjects, and I think the Grace Trail does. Grace Trail encourages you to engage in conversations that matter. The more you ask them, I believe, the more your heart can open up to what's possible. And that's what I want people to walk away with when they walk the Grace Trail.
Reporting from the Grace Trail at Nelson Park, I'm Katie Donegan for PACTV Community News.